Hello, you fucks. Welcome to John Sello's Beard Brigade. I'm John Sello, and this is little Alyssa Gramling over. Where are you on this? This time you're over here. Hey, you're over there.
I'm
Hey,
over
there you
here.
go. This is the very first inaugural. Is that how you say that? Inaugural.
Yeah, I think inaugural.
There you
I
go.
don't know. I can't say it
That.
either.
It's the first segment of the Ramblin Gramlin show. This is the weekly source for MM Audiobook news. I wrote that down so I wouldn't forget it. So we got this going on, and we're just kind of fucking around and planning it and seeing how it's going to work. I think it's going to go something like this. We're going to go through the new releases, and we're gonna announce what all came out this week, and then we're going to talk about what little Alyssa Gramlin was listening to this week. I think that should be it. So, new releases. I tasked you with going through. I thought you would just look at Audible for these. Is that all the? Where else did you look other than
That's
Audible?
all I did.
You got 21 releases in the last week. Is that right? It's a lot.
Yep.
I know that. It's a fucking
Yeah.
lot. It surprised me. I didn't know that many people did this sort of thing. Apparently they do. So, the first release. So Alyssa Gramlin's going to tell us all about it.
Well, the first release is called Ball Play by Isabel Starling, narrated by Gary Furlong.
Do you think, I mean, is she making an innuendo there? Is she talking about a soccer ball, or is she talking, I think she's probably talking about balls.
Who the hell knows?
I've never met Isabel, but I can't imagine she wouldn't be talking about anything on it. And there's only one, and it's black and white, so you have options. Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
That would be a soccer ball in the picture, though.
Oh, it looked rather large. Okay, good, okay. Gary
It
Furlong.
released on Gary Furlong. It released on November the 10th
Okay.
of this year, of course. And apparently the summary is the challenge of taming Leander West could turn out to be quite a Christmas miracle. And this story is an MM holiday romance and contains scenes of hotness.
We worked holiday into that as well, so it's a Christmas ball. Excellent. All right, cool. It's that time of year. Next
Next we have Farm Boys.
I can't hear that without. There was this comedian. He always, let me get some of them farm girls. I want some of them farm girls. Anyways, sorry. I know it's not pussy. It's boys. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh,
Sorry.
God. It's by Mark A. Roeder.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
I will go with that. Narrated by Jerry Bradshaw. It released also on the 10th of November. And that summary is, when Ethan and Nathan were young, they took in a boy and raised him as their son. But now they're in their 50s and are taking on not one boy, but three. Oh boy. Are they Are they in over their heads, or can they succeed as dads once again? They're determined to do their best, but three boys are a challenge that may be beyond them.
This sounds a bit. I mean, incest? Is that? I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying what the books. I haven't read it. I haven't listened to it, but it kind of sounds like it's set up for incest, if you're asking me. And also, that's the. I mean, it's a spray on tan. I mean, that's not a real tan. We all know that. Anyways, next.
Farmers tans usually cut off at the shoulders.
Exactly. So he obviously sprayed the whole thing. I'm going to take one more look at this real close here. Yeah. No, there's no tan lines on there. He is farming. Have you ever been in a cornfield? You know how scratchy that shit is, right? When you probably haven't.
I've never been in a cornfield. I won't go near one.
You won't go near. Are you scared of cornfields?
Have you seen Children of the Corn?
Yeah, we're looking at it right now. That's what they look like. You should go in the cornfields. I'm telling you, you would love it in there.
That and they're too tall, and I get lost.
Well, that's true. You probably get lost in soybean fields, I would bet. They're so short.
I just stay away from fields altogether.
I don't blame you one bit. All right, so next, here we go. Christmas. Oh, look at that.
Christmas Tales.
Yeah, no. I know Brandon. Cool. Go ahead. Here.
By Brandon Witt, narrated by Justin P. Lopez. also came out the 10th of November. The summary is a collection of 3 holiday short stories. A miracle of recently fallen sprue. Hope is the thing with feathers and teddy bears.
Is that too much hair on his chest, do you think? I don't think
No.
it is. I think that's a reasonable amount of hair. It looks like he trims it a little bit because normally hair would be a little tuftier than that. You know, like it toughs up after a while,
Yeah.
and it gets longer. But so it looks like he trims it. But I think that's a reasonable amount of hair to have on a man's chest.
Yes. I
One of my
love a man with a hairy chest.
Well, I figured that probably not with. We don't want to go in a cornfield after him. Anna Weinhardt
No.
is averse to. She does not like. We've had this discussion before. She doesn't like men with hairy chests. I mean, she probably likes them, but she doesn't.
Oh.
She's not into them as far as that goes. She wants it all like 12-year-old boy shaved kind of thing. Although I was hairy at 12.
Yeah.
But anyways, next. Hey, look at that.
Next we have Stuck With You by Jay Northcote, narrated by Hamish Long. It also came out the 10th of November.
That was a big day.
It really was. Summary is 2 clashing colleagues stuck together at Christmas. Will opposites eventually attract? Contains enemies to lovers, snowball fights, bickering, spanking. Ooh. A cute dog, a wise old lady, mistletoe, and a happy ending, of course.
Good googly muggly. There's a lot going on. Did they say spanking? Did they? And it
did.
He laid that one out right there. All right, cool. Well, I mean, that kid looks like he probably needs a little more hair on his chest, and he probably needs a spanking. Next.
Probably does. It could be a brat.
Oh, hey, I've got something special for this one. Long Way Home, written by Nikki James, narrated by Nick J. Russo. Check this out.
Hi there, Nick J. Russo here. I'd like to introduce you to a new audio of mine released this week called Long Way Home by the talented Nikki James. Check it out. It was love at first sight. They were soulmates. It was forever. But they were only 16. Too innocent, too naive, too ignorant about the world around them.
You didn't know I was going to do this, did you?
No.
It's pretty cool. Last night I had this idea. I was like, hey, I know that narrator. Why don't I reach out to the narrator and see if he wants to, instead of us rambling through I mean, I figured he could do it, and he graciously accepted it.
Besides, nothing lasts forever. With their fairy tale...
I can also tell that is not his new Neumann microphone, by the way. That's his. I won't nerd out on you, but that's absolutely his SM7B. You can hear it. It sounds more like a radio announcer than like Neumann downstairs. I'm on the SM7B right now, so he recorded that on a microphone just exactly like this big phallic symbol. It's in my
future torn to shreds. Both boys need to learn to find their own way in an unforgiving world. Gavin Buchanan is thrown into a life he didn't want, molded to do a job he always feared. He must learn to get by, but with only his brothers in arms to lean on, and secrets so deep they eat at his core every day, he struggles. How long until life in the Marine Corps turns this gentle, tender-hearted man into someone no one recognizes?
I'm betting not long at all, by the way.
Owen Wallace is adrift and going through the motions. Every time he tries to stand tall and put the past behind him, life kicks him down. There is only so much a person can take before they turn bitter and jaded. It wasn't supposed to be this way. Their souls are bound to each other.
He got kind of dramatic.
Will keep them apart.
Yeah.
It will take time, but they just need to find their way home. Trigger warning for PTSD.
Oh, yeah, and people that aren't into spanking. There you go. There's Nick J. Russo reading the breakdown for Long Way Home by Nikki James. I thought that was
I
kind of
actually
fun.
have that one in my wish list.
You do? So you haven't actually listened to it yet, but you checked it.
No, not yet. But
I mean, I would think he would have more hair on his chest. He's a fucking Marine, right? Is that what they said? He's a Marine. It's kind of a requisite. Like you go in the Marine, they shave your head, but they leave the hair on your chest. Anyways, I'm sorry, I digress.
Oh, they could.
Next.
The Same End, The Lamb and the Lion, Book 3 by Gregory Ash, narrated by J.F. Harding. It released on the 11th of November. We actually got out of the 10th this time. The summary is Tinkum Leon is pretty sure that if he plays his cards right, he can have it all. His childhood friend and former lover, Amon Young, his best friend, although Teen is loath to admit it, Jim Berger, and his family. A boyfriend might even be in his future, although he's having a heck of a time getting a second date with the guy he feels he meets on Prowler.
What's
I guess
Prowler?
Prowler is something. I guess it's something like Grindr or Tinder. I don't know.
I guess he didn't want to get sued, so he made up his own Prowler. That kind of sounds a little suspect. I'm not sure that. I've never been on these apps. Jody said I'm not allowed, but I bet that. I mean, if I saw one, I'm looking for a date, and you see one named Prowler, I would be a bit suspicious about. I mean, that it's like somebody crawling
Yeah,
in
but
the
all the
window.
other books have had Grindr in it, so I don't see why this wouldn't have it.
Well,
Prowler is something new.
I think that's one of those things. I've had this discussion with authors before, and some authors you'll notice. I think it's Patty is really good about this. Like if she references something like that, she'll actually reference the trademark in her. I guess you would call it a bibliography. I don't really know. And some authors just won't touch it with a 10-foot pole, and others just absolutely don't care. I had this conversation with an author this week or last week. I'm not very good at time. About they wanted to put a song in their book. They just didn't have the copyright to it, and I was like, you can't do that. That's called a lawsuit right there. And
Yeah.
maybe not, maybe only 200 people buy your book, but if a bunch of them buy your book, then you're fucked. Because then somebody's going to say something, and then pretty soon Disney's knocking at your door, and it's not a good thing. So yeah, I would think that Gregory Ash probably has his shit together, and Gregory Ash decided, you know what? I'm not going to put that in. I'm going to make Prowler, which is, I mean, that's a good name.
I mean, Prowler could be another one that nobody's ever heard of.
If
Could be
you
new.
if you were looking for a dating app and you saw one named Prowler, you personally, Melissa Gramling, would you go on a dating app named Prowler?
No, not at all.
It sounds a little suspect, doesn't it? I like it, though. I like it. All right, next.
Next, we have All or Nothing, The Chosen One, Book 1, by Macy Blake, narrated by Michael Dean. It came out on November 12th.
Is that Michael Dean on the cover?
I don't know. Probably not.
It kind of looks like Michael Dean. Probably, no, it's not. This guy's got hair on his chest. I'm sorry, go ahead.
The summary. Summary. Have you been chosen? Sawyer Smith is preparing to take on the world. And with his graduate degree only days away, he's hoping to convince his gorgeous best friend and neighbor to come along for the ride. There's only one problem. Draco has a secret. A big scaly secret. And it's about to change Sawyer's life forever. I bet he's a dragon.
Wow. I just thought he had a big cock. Next. This one, I saw this on the list, and it cracked me up. Just the title alone.
Oh, yes, I was looking forward to this one.
Yeah.
B is for Baby Me, Classes in Kink Book 1, by Casey Cooper, narrated by Blake Lockhart. It came out the 12th of October. November. October? No.
Yeah. Months are hard. Time's difficult. Blake Lockhart, we know him, don't we?
Yes, we do.
I think so. Yeah, he's one of ours.
Summary. A submissive football player bound for the NFL. A dominant professor into BDSM. Do they spell disaster? B is for Baby Me. Classes in Kink Book 1 is an MM standalone gay romance with BDSM elements. Daddy boy love names. Age gap. Guaranteed HEA with no cheating or cliffhangers. But plenty of giggle snorts, eye rolls, and first time kink exploration.
The Baby Me thing, is that the little thing, the littles? I've never done a littles book, but I
don't know. I mean, it hasn't come up yet in the book. We're all
Okay.
listening to it for Audio Club in the
Oh, you are?
Discord
Okay.
channel.
Cool.
Yeah.
How far are you into it?
I think I'm in the 12th or 13th chapter.
Okay, so you're a ways in, and nobody's dressed up in diapers or anything yet.
No.
All right. I
I
don't know
hope
how these
not.
things work. Well, I don't know how these things work. I mean, it's weird the lines that you draw too, because I've seen what you're into, and it's cool. Whatever. You're scared of cornfields, and you're not very fond of diapers. So I'm just making a little mental note here. Next, we got.
I don't do babies at all.
Yeah, no, I get it. That's weird. I've seen this guy on this cover before. I think he's been on one of my covers too. Anyways.
Yeah. Next one is Rebound. I can't even say that word.
It's
Words are
tough.
hard.
Oleander.
Oleander Chronicles, Book 2, by Lynn Van Dorn. Narrated by Michael Furiello. I can say it, I just can't spell it.
Michael.
It came out the 12th of November as well. The summary for this one is Rebound is the story of two men giving up hopeless relationships only to fall in each other's arms, more or less, and find that they complete each other in ways that no other man could. There's hate sex, a bird funeral, special baked goods, a redneck cedar, and an accidental overabundance of flamingos. Jacob and Levi fight each other, but find they can't fight the bond of forms.
I have questions. A bird funeral? Did you say a bird funeral?
Yes, I said a bird funeral.
I've never. All right, cool.
And an overabundance of flamingos.
Yeah, no. I love Lynn Van Dorn so much. She was maybe. It's hard to say a favorite, but she was one of those interviews that really stuck out to me from GRL. I absolutely love her. We need to everyone talk to the beard again.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. Next. Oh my goodness gracious. Go ahead. I'm looking.
The Inconvenient Obsession, the Omega Rescue Book 3. The Omega Auction Chronicles Book 10. What? Oh, from that series. I don't know.
I know. That confused me too. Let me pull this up in Notion here. So it's the Omega Rescue Book 3, the Omega Auction Chronicles Book 10. So is this like a sub-series in a series, you think?
Possibly.
Also, the werewolf or whatever he is there, his right arm is not going the right way. Like, if you look at it, there's something wrong with that. But anyways, we can't all be Anna Bird making covers. Anyway,
yeah.
You know what? Fine. Let's move on to the next one. That's too funky for me. Next. Ginger snapping.
You don't want to know who it's by or who it's narrated?
Who was it narrated by? All right, well, let me go back.
Alexander Collins, it was narrated by.
Excellent.
Ken Rhodes is who it's written by. I don't know.
That cover is rough. I'm sorry, it really is. I can't make a cover, so it's not like I could do better, but that cover is pretty rough. I'm sorry.
I wouldn't be able to do one.
No, me neither. I mean, you can see. Well, you know what I do when I need to cover? I ask Anna. That's what I do. Ginger snapping all the way. There we see. That's a good looking cover right there.
By Gabby Gray, narrated by Michael Dean. Again, he's a busy man.
Michael Dean on the cover there too?
No, it's not him.
He's got facial hair. That's right. Okay, sorry.
Well, Michael Dean sometimes does have facial hair.
Oh, he does not. He's
sometimes.
He's some kind of swimmer, isn't he? I mean, he's not, but he's very aerodynamic with his no hair. Anyways.
It was released on the 15th of November. And the summary is it's a 72,000 word hurt comfort lumberjack nurse grumpy sunshine forced proximity romance with moderate amount of angst. Wow.
That's awesome. You got through that though. Good job. I like those summaries though. Well, hey, I bet you he is. That you got through it though, and the fact is that that's a great summary. That boom, 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 right to the point. It's this many words. Here's what it's got in it, and a lumberjack. Ta-da! There should be a dun right at the end of it. Next, when I see you again, look at that. They've got some facial hair.
A novel. It's by Daryl Banner and narrated by Chris Chambers. You've worked with him.
I have. He's a heck of a nice guy.
It came out the 16th of November. And that summary is, what do you do when your childhood enemy is the only one that can save you?
Kill them.
Short, sweet, and to the
Kill
point.
them all.
Kill them all.
I can't help it. Yeah, upward. Chris is a heck of a nice guy. I hope to work with him again. Next. Oh, there's a description right there.
A breach in confidentiality. Yeah. The Dr. Cage Chronicles Memoirs of a Sex Therapist. Book 8. By Grayson Ace. Narrated by Chase Johnson. It came out the 15th of November. Yes. And summary is, can Dr. Cage keep the divide between pleasure and professional?
He can't even keep the divide between pleasure and that apple. He's all over that apple.
Yeah, I noticed that.
I know. It gotta be. I like apples, but I'm not sure I'm gonna have any more. That kind of freaked me out a little bit. Just put that apple away. Anyways,
Yeah.
next, Silent Night.
A Fog City novel by Layla Renee. I know Nick has worked with her.
I'd say Rain, but don't trust me on
Rain?
anything like this. Yeah.
Yeah. And narrated by Christian Leatherman.
Leathermans
It
are
came out-
fantastic little multi-tools. Have you ever used one of those?
Mm-mm.
They're awesome. They're like this big, and you put them in your pocket, and they've got like a pair of pliers, and then a knife, and then like a screwdriver, and it's like a Swiss
That's
Army
like a
knife.
Swiss Army knife. Yeah.
For men though, not for boys. Swiss Army knives are for boys. They're like little tinker toys. Leatherman, you can drop that thing in the mud, and a year later it'll still be fine. I'm sure Christian is very dependable, just by his name.
It came out the 15th of November. A lot of them came out the 15th as well.
Oddball at a big day.
Summary of that one is love and devotion, friendship and trust, family. It all comes down to this. Holt and Kane together at last in the final book of the Fog City Romance Suspense series.
Those tattoos are expensive. They've
Tattoos
got a
are
lot
expensive.
yeah, they've got a lot of tattoos. That's an investment right there. When you look at that many tattoos on someone, you're like, dude, that's like 20 grand. You got that right there. And your body's important, but I mean, at least the guy in the back, you would think maybe you would spend more money on food. Next.
Cinders and Ashes, Book 4, a gay retelling of Cinderella. By X. Artari.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure that name was made, so we don't know what it is. I don't know.
Narrated by Edward Fox and Hannah Hart. Released on the 16th of November. Summary is, the clock runs down to midnight. And this will be a 5-book high fantasy series with fated lovers, magnificent monsters, and powerful magic.
All right. I wish I could say his last name.
I wish I could too. I could say Michael Fiorillo's better than I could say his.
I can't. Michael. Next.
Yeah.
I recognize this title. Look at that.
You want to do the honors of this one?
Fuck no. It's all yours.
Next we have Heel. White House Men Series Book 7 by Nora Phoenix and narrated by, well, you.
Hi.
It came out the 16th of November. And the summary is, well, Heel is the last book of the White House Men series.
Did you say Whitehead Men book?
Yeah, accidentally, yeah. Words are hard.
Yeah, they really are. You're doing great here. I like the Whitehead Men series though. That's a little more. It's explosive.
That
you
could be
might
her
say.
next series. That could be her next series.
Yeah.
A continuing.
Go ahead.
Wanna
You're
go?
doing fine. No, you're fine.
A continuing. Oh my gosh. Blah. A continuing MM romance suspense series that needs to be listened to in order. It contains a sunshiny assistant, a slightly grumpy president, sweet hurt, comfort, age gap, and the happiest of happy endings.
And not as many. There's actually 75% less daddy than book 5. Next.
Oh God. Yeah, that one was interesting.
I just wanted to make sure everybody knew. It's like when you get low-fat milk. This is like 75% less daddy than book 5. See, now, okay, there's some tattoos right there. That's $20,000 at least. Go ahead. Sorry.
That's a lot of tattoos.
Yeah, it is.
Charisma Check. Roll for Love Book 2 by Charlie Novak. Narrated by Joel Leslie. It came out the 16th of November. The summary: hatred is complicated, clothing is simple. Edward doesn't need a man, he certainly doesn't need a cosplayer and tattoo artist. Izzy Montez, aka the Masked Gentleman, Edward's ultimate nemesis. Charisma Check is 80,000 word contemporary MM romance featuring comic conventions, snark, many costume changes, and only one bed. It is book 2 of in the Roll of Love series and should be listened as part of the series.
Okay, so first off, does the corn in the background on that one freak you out a little bit? Does it make you a little? And maybe
No,
that's not
I
corn.
don't
It's
think that
maybe
is.
a little bit
Is
of
that
wheat.
corn?
I don't know. It's maybe a little bit of wheat going on there. I mean, it's definitely foliage. Are you freaked out by
Could be
foliage
paint.
in general?
No, I'm not freaked out by foliage.
Two, that guy's got $20,000 worth of tattoos, and he can't afford
more?
another bed. Yeah, and he can't afford another bed. That seems a little
Yeah, that's why
unlikely
it's
to me.
only one bed.
Yeah, it just seems a little unlike. Anyways, next. Hey, Dan Callie, look at that.
Salvation, a Darkest Skies novel by Garrett Lee, narrated by Dan Callie. It came out on the 16th as well. The summary is: Salvation is a sweetly angsty standalone MM romance novel in the Darkest Skies series. Expect second chances, forced proximity, friends to lovers, and buckets of hurt comfort themed loveliness. Content warnings for childhood trauma, violence, and chronic illness. Oh,
He's got some pretty sweet tattoos going on there too. That little eye thing on his arm up there, it's probably hard for you to see on your screen. He's got like the eye of the world thing going on. The same one that's on the dollar bill. I was supposed to have one of those on my arm to cover up my tattoo that I did years ago. It's kind of faded though. Next we got a Cup of Joe. Look at that. I like the little emblem thing. I'm paying more attention to covers today.
you are, especially with ones with hairy chests.
That's a lot. I was watching for Michael Dean, and that's a pretty good indicator. Anyways, sorry.
Cup of Joe, Bold Brew, Book 1 by Annabeth Albert, narrated by Cooper North. The series in the Bold Brew series, Book 1, release date the 16th of November. Summary is: sometimes an ordinary Joe is all you need. Newbie barista Levi Miles is having a bad day in the middle of a bad month. He's trying to figure out post-graduation life, and a recent breakup hasn't helped. The one bright spot, the charming blue-collared customer with the simple order and reassuring voice. I wonder what voice he has.
I bet you do, actually. I bet you do. I'm not familiar with Cooper North's work. I'm going to have to check out Cooper. He's a new
I
one to me.
haven't listened to him. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I've
New-
seen him around. I've seen his name around, but I haven't tried to listen to it yet.
I love how you say tried to listen to it yet. I mean, it can't be bad. I don't know. I haven't listened to Cooper North yet, so that's what I'm going to check out. He's a new one to me in the industry. Next one. Now, this author's kind of turned into a big deal and not turning into. Been there for a while.
Actually, I think it's like a combination of two authors.
Is it?
With like Anne Katrin. Yeah.
Okay,
Anne
like
Katrin
that,
Byrne.
like that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Plus Wyatt Baker too is certainly turning into a big deal in the industry. But Gay American, when I say big deal, I'm not like, oh, they're big sellers. It's just this is a name I hear a lot right now. Plus this cover looks fantastic. What's the breakdown?
And I'm actually reading the first book of this series.
All right. Now you said
I'm
reading.
Like
you're
reading.
not listening.
No, I'm actually reading.
I didn't know that you did that sort of. How quaint. Look at that.
I tend to read dark stuff, and I'll listen to the light and fluffy.
So why do you... I gotta hang on here. Let me get into this. Do you not like the dark stuff? Now you're talking like knife play, blood, that sort of thing. I mean,
Not knife play. No, not that. Dark,
not
like
that.
in Dubcon, non-con, close to what Anna Weinhardt
So I learned
writes.
I've learned what these things: dubious consent, right? Dubcon, and
Yeah,
non-con, no consent, like non-consent, like they're. But you
correct.
tend to read those things, not listen to them. Is it because the listening experience is a little too close, a little too personal, or?
No, because nobody really narrates those books, and they're all in smash words.
I was also. Is it because like you don't need, you can use both hands to read. You can only one for the audio. I mean, I don't really know how these things work. I sorry.
Wow.
Sorry. I didn't know if it was because of, I mean, I don't know the
No.
physical. Okay. So sorry. I didn't mean to get you off track, but now I know. And plus you're right. There is a market for DubCon and non-con. And because of the Zon and the way they sell, sometimes they're hard to get put out by all means.
Right.
Are you saying as well that this series is non-con, DubCon? Is that what's happening in the first book,
It's
or
just
no?
dark. It's dark.
Dark. Yeah. I like the dark stuff.
It's like dark mafia. Things I'll enjoy reading more than listening to, because sometimes
Okay.
I won't be able to get into that narrator, so I just go ahead and read it.
Okay. Well, I suspect a lot
It's
of
all
people
Anna
are.
Weinhardt's fault.
Yeah, she's a gateway author, I think. She's like
Well, she
marijuana.
got it all started with the toilet I had over in Florida, singing toilet, so she wrote a story about it.
Somehow your singing toilet got to non-con. Okay.
Yeah,
Great.
it had tentacles and everything.
Your toilet had, it was a
Not
bidet is what
mine.
it was then. It was a
Not
bidet.
mine. Not
You
mine.
press the button and
The
it,
story she wrote.
okay.
The story she wrote had tentacles. Oh, yeah.
All right, cool. Well, I think we've established what this is. What's the breakdown of this one here? Guns and Boys.
Faking their own death was the easy part. And there's a warning with adult content. If you're easily offended, this audio is not for you. Guns and Boys is a gritty story of extreme violence, offensive language, abuse, morale, oh my god, I can't even say it.
It's all right.
Morally ambiguous protagonists.
It's funny Florida girls can't
That's
say
a
morals.
mouthful.
Yeah.
Hey, I can. I've got them.
All right. Next, this will be the last new release of the week.
And the last book is Hunter Moon, Wolf Rising, Book 3, by Sam Burns and W.M. Fox.
Fucks.
Narrated by Michael Fell. It also came out on the 16th of November. And I do believe it is, the prodigal alpha returns from the Navy with a whole sea of trouble.
Is there this many releases every week? Is this like a common week?
It can be more. It can be more. It can be less.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, my plan for this segment was going to be like 10 minutes. I think we're at 22 right now.
Yeah, it ain't going to be 10 minutes long.
33 minutes.
Yeah, it ain't going to be that.
We're in a 33-minute segment just to tell you what came out this week. And we still got the final bit, too. The final bit is you telling me what you listened to over the last week, which you told me you listened to Beta's Surrender by Nora Phoenix.
I'm re-listening to it.
Re-listening to it. So you've already listened to it once and you went back to it again. So this, I'm assuming, was not non-con or dubcon or dubstep or anything like that. This was because you wouldn't listen to that. I don't know what happens in your head. Okay.
You don't want to know what happens in my head sometimes.
I really do, actually. But all right. So tell me, what do you think? What are your thoughts on this book?
Well, saying how I'm re-listening to it, I loved it the first time, so.
Cool.
And I was in the mood for Grayson.
Oh.
And I was in the mood for Grayson.
Is Grayson that voice right there? Is that the one?
Yes.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
So you like the voice itself. The character began.
But I did re-listen to the first two before I went into this one.
Gotcha. So you had to, now these ones connect, so you kind of have to listen to them in order, right?
Yes.
All right. And there's 10 in the series, if I remember right, because I
Yes.
recorded them, and there's a whole lot of book.
Yeah.
Um,
And I felt like listening to you, so.
there you go. Not like you listen to me every day of the week in Discord or anything like that. You,
No, not every day.
wow.
Some days you have days off.
Guy takes a day off, and what the hell happens? Well, so if we were to grade this, I was thinking about this before the show, and I thought to myself, we need some sort of grading system, some kind of, kind of a 1 to 5. And I thought, well, what could we use for the Ramblin' Gramlin show? And I thought bullets. So we'd have 1 to
knew you
5
were gonna
bullets.
do that.
1 to 5 bullets. And this is an overall. This isn't just the sexy content. This is an overall your opinion, and this is only your opinion. This isn't, this is Melissa Gramlin's Ramblin' Gramlin show. 1 to 5 bullets. What do you give Beta's Surrender?
4.5.
4.5. That's a lot of bullets as far as that goes. So, how many batteries would that be? Anyways, thank you very much for doing this.
Not if I used the rechargeable one. I wouldn't need batteries.
I knew that was coming too. Get in this argument every time. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for doing the show. This did come out 3 times longer than I thought it would, but I get the impression that it happens to you a lot.
It's probably going to.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure how we're going to make it shorter as far as that goes. I don't know. I mean, all we did was, I even broke down like the blurbs. I like made them into like a third of what they are. I don't know. But also, thank you to Nick J. Russo for doing your thing and recording
Thank you very
our
much,
bit.
Jay.
Yeah, that was awesome. And we will, I guess, see you next week. I suspect this will be up on YouTube here in a little bit. So sometime on Thursday afternoon, you all should see it. So have fun. Now we get to wave to the camera. Bye.